And just a quick thought, but I really think that inclusivity is just impossible. It kind of starts from this really good place where we want everyone to get along, hold hands, and we can just live in this post-historical world, like what Francis Fukuyama said. But really, I think with that goal, that idealism, we've thought or we've developed the idea that we can perfect people into believing a certain, let's call it an ideology. I'm not a huge fan of that word, but let's call it an ideology, where you create this inclusivity by attacking maybe things that are worth discussing. Honestly, I'm at the point where I don't really care anymore. And then there are others where it's kind of ridiculous. And for me, it kind of started with language, for example. The way that we would say things like, for example, like think of how we use the word white in the States, like white Americans, and then we have black Americans. And I think that those are very, clean, easily understandable descriptors. And then African American comes in, and then there's sort of like this fear that people sort of created, like, oh, I don't want to be seen as the R word, or I don't want to be like ostracized from the group. And so slowly the subconscious moves towards like this language. And for the people who aren't really in the loop about what's going on, especially for me 10 years ago, maybe you'd say one of these words, like, for example, my mother. I said this in one of my videos. My mother used to always say "flaming gay" when I was a kid. Oh, he's flaming gay. That guy walking into the coffee shop right now, his clothes and the way that he's talking, he's flaming gay. And originally it was just a descriptor. Even gay people themselves used that about themselves. And then slowly, as time passed, these words suddenly became unfashionable among a certain group of people who were very loud and wanted to prove that they were right. They wanted to prove to you that they are better than you, because that's what they think. They think that they're better than you and me. And really there's no fighting it, because the problem is there's this idea that you can perfect people. You can change people who are defective. For example, like the term, I believe Mexican, even just Mexican, like saying Mexicans, people would prefer things like Latino, if I'm getting that correctly, or even the really strange ones like, mother and father becoming birthing parent and non-birthing parent. I think that's this kind of language starts out as inclusivity, but really what we're just doing is playing language games. Okay, like I know that you can use language to describe whatever you want, but at the end of the day, like you can inch your way and sort of fuck with people, and I could look at this guitar right here and tell you, no, this guitar is a violin. A lot of people will say like, oh, 10 years ago, I identify as an attack helicopter. I'm like, okay, like I get the point. It's funny to me because I get what you're trying to say, but I think that to really steelman what people believe when it comes to like the redefining of things, to gender, the gender binary, yada, 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 social constructs, is like you can change it like one step at a time, one idea at a time, and a violin is an instrument. It's a wood instrument with strings, and it has a bow, right? But you can use that for a guitar, and I could say like, no, this is a violin. Please call this a violin. It's not a guitar. I know it looks like a guitar. I know you've grown up with the idea that this is a guitar, but it's not a guitar. So shut up, and you're stupid if you don't agree with me, because obviously I have the intellectual moral high ground and I'm better at rhetorical language games than you are. And this pissed off a lot of people like me, especially because I always had good intentions. I know some people have bad intentions, and many people who do this are already speaking in bad faith. Just ignore them. Just fuck them. Who cares? But for those people who play these language games, there's always this sort of sense of, I'm better than you, I know more than you, I'm more educated than you are, and if you don't agree with me, then it's an admission that you are stupid, and I have every right to continue to foist my beliefs onto you until you get it, even if I have to insult you in the process. And that's kind of like this icky feeling that a lot of people have sort of developed over the past couple of years. Now, I know he's watching. One of my friends, we had a conversation about like politics recently. Like, why do you come off right wing? Why have you become right wing? I don't even really like the term right wing, but why have you become right wing? And I was telling him like, well, because for the last 10 years, people who are self-described as very left and very progressive and want to change the world have tried to destroy my life. They have done everything from doxing me to spreading rumors about me. I have childhood friendships that were ruined from it. And there was absolutely no attempt to really, sell their ideas other than you're wrong, you're stupid, you don't see it, you are the R word, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, well, you're not even making an argument for me to join the camp here. I want to have a conversation. But there's always that fear, there's always that like subtext that you are the bad guy. You're wrong. There's something wrong with you. And at this point, I start looking at like YouTube comments, right? Someone says, they will call us racist no matter what we do. We might as well be. And, that's actually kind of a fair point, because even if you speak honestly about this and you can say, no, of course, like I don't have anything against anybody for their immutable characteristics. Doesn't matter if you are or are not in that camp. If you don't hold ideas that are, let's call it left enough, you're going to be called that word no matter what. And other people are being ironic, like, oh, you're racist. And some people just respond these days, thank you. Because the word is kind of like losing its power, because the way that the argument has been sold to people is the way that the argument has been, conducted in conversation between people has just not been effective at all. And a lot of this like comes off as reactionary, but I think that the real problem is when we are speaking authentically and really just, aligning ourselves with what we think. One of the things that we should stop doing is think, I am better than you. It's not a game of I am better than you. You suck and I win. Unless I guess you want to go to war, I guess, fine, be my guest. It's a matter of just, look, you have to accept that what you believe in is what you believe in, and it's important to question it. But in the context of a debate between people, if you want to respect your fellow countrymen, you gotta have the conversation and stop assuming that I'm better than you. That is the number one thing I think which pisses off everybody about this. And there are not enough young men who are linguistically talented enough even to defend themselves against this, because people in academia, I think the funny thing is a lot of the ideas that they have, you have to be educated to be this stupid, to quote Ben Shapiro of all people, who I don't even really like, but they're still smart, they're good with language, they're good with this rhetorical game, and they think that this is a game of power. And I think that there are other people like me. It's like I really don't think this is a game of power. I genuinely believe this is a game. This is our duty as mankind, as man on earth, to speak as closely as we can to the truth, not for power, not for gain, but for like the betterment of humanity. And if you're Christian, like in God's eyes, if you will. And I know that a lot of people are atheists. They don't believe in the sky daddy or whatever. Doesn't matter. I think at the end of the day, it all boils down to good intentions and bad intentions. And people who have bad intentions just want to win this game and say, screw you, you're the R word, are creating the very problem that they sought out to solve in the first place. And the only way that we're going to stop this is if we come together and shake hands, which no one wants to do. No one wants to do it. I think both sides are just they're just done. They're done with each other. There's really no fixing this, as much as I hate to say it. And as a result of that, I just, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of give the last 10 years in hindsight. But yeah, I think the reason why is because there was one side that always said, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. And then the working class people, this is not related to like actual politicians, but just the ideas themselves. People who were on the receiving end of that felt belittled, and it created a reaction that is now what we're kind of seeing in the modern discourse. But that's about all.